This first episode is about surrendering a piece of my identity. Because what does the girl who makes meaning do when something awful and without meaning happens? It's now been over a year since my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and shortly after passed away. This is the story of what I've learned in over 35 years on the planet, losing people, and 1 year since I lost him, someone really important to me. But the story starts many years ago when my mom passed away, which was when I was 3. It was a long time ago, but unfortunately that unhappy placement in my life meant that it became a part of my identity for a long time. It constantly came up in conversation when I was meeting people, and it changed my life completely in ways I can't even count. But I found ways to adapt. I mostly tried to push down those negative feelings that were left from all these changes and loss, and just try to focus on not making any mistakes, not being negative, or causing negative feelings in any other person ever, which was difficult and a form of perfectionism that ultimately was not possible, of course. The attempt of this did turn me into a rather high-strung person. By the time I was 34 and I lost my dad, I wasn't a complete newbie to this whole path. I knew I was on the wrong track, but it was like the final blow to a casket, an end to who I couldn't be anymore. Not that I won't relearn these lessons many times over. This video is a monument to this moment, so I never forget how important this really is, and don't forget what I've learned. The strategies I adopted as a kid didn't last as an adult. It wasn't possible to try to do things like I used to do them. They created difficulties of their own, and things I simply could not tolerate being my life anymore. I had enough. This lie that I had to prove myself and be perfect and reach some sort of end when everything would be okay, when I could know that it was safe from something outside of me that I had created for myself. I thought I had to do all these things to take control, to maybe subconsciously try to control whether the people in my life live or die. People live or die and has nothing to do with me, and I mourn all the energy I spent trying to have this false sense of control. But I forgive it, and I forgive all the lessons I had to learn and the lack of understanding that came with it. And like everybody else, I was always doing my best. And that has to be enough for me. It is. Because I'm deciding to let go of my identity as needing to be perfect in order to be okay. And release the lies and illusions that kept me put. That I need to be producing all the time. I need to be writing all the time, or making money all the time, or providing such and such to any person, or being any kind of way to be okay. I just am. And releasing those illusions doesn't come without its own sacrifices. I was so addicted to my work for such a long time. That's how I thought I had to be to survive. And now I still care, but I'm not as consumed by my creative potential and my work and my journey on this planet as a creator. I want to be like a healthy artist and show up so that everyone knows that, hey, we exist, and don't you darn forget it. the patience with myself that fuels everything, it's still going to be here, even if this video goes nowhere, even if everything I ever do goes nowhere, quote unquote, and it's just a one-off experiment in being a human and trying to put it into some kind of art form, some kind of expression. I'm grieving, and I am letting people see me and hear me. I'm not totally okay, and I'm tired of waiting to be totally okay before I can do anything, because the reason why I'm not okay is that I deeply love someone who had to leave me too soon. And there is nothing wrong with that. And I have to reclaim all the energy from the part of me that has judged it through my life, my entire life. This tender, soft, and painful area in me, in my heart, that got bared open again by losing yet another important person. It's here. It's raw. And I'm going to grieve and make it okay to be a grieving person. It is okay to do what is natural in a world where we need people to care about each other more, not less, to make it strength to feel something, to make it okay to be a part of the world as feeling people. And I'm still who I am. And I'm still showing up. Just like it's going to be okay to show up on days when I'm having a good day and everything feels open to me. I'm saying it not just for me, but for other people too. Not everything gets solved with a pill. In my life, many things get solved by art and creativity and writing. Other forms of creativity can transform sorrow and challenges and turn them into something else, something of beauty, of value, of excellence, something with some substance, something enduring that nobody can take away from because it will still have been experienced. But to have that release from the confines of a cage you spent your whole life in, despite being hassled by other people, the biggest jailer has only ever been myself. So I'm not going to put a lid on it or pretend to be someone I'm not so that I'm perfect. I believe honesty and creativity will set me free, and I'm sharing the magic to you by doing it for myself. Whatever you're going on in your life, you can gather the sparkle from being just real. And that is a beautiful thing. My dad's death was a lot for me to handle. I let myself go to absolute pieces emotionally so I could pick myself up and come back together again with a few pieces left behind. Not all of who I was before made the cut, and not all of my former life did either. I'm now the one that decides what combination of pieces will make my life the most beautiful thing that it can be to my eyes. I don't decide if others live or die. I don't control the big picture. I just do what I can to reach in and find the seed of something that can possibly be good in crap. I lost my main person. It was hard. And there's no meaning to be made out of it. I'm seeing whatever the reality is, and I don't have to put a smiley face on. I can be angry. I can cry. But whatever fairy tale I've been born into, I am going to write the ending of it. And I'm not waiting for happily ever after later on, because forget that. I will grab the pen today, and I will add my own ending and have it be that. I choose happiness, safety, openness, and ease. The best part of being a writer, and why I want everyone to write, is because you can change your story. And you are the author. So I've chosen to surrender to it.
Personality change? Yes. Releasing my old priorities and choosing new ones? Sure, even if it means the death of who I used to be. You know, self-love is conceptual, it is hard to grasp, and it is inactionable when it is spoken about in generalities.
It can only be something that you step towards when you know yourself. So when my own anxieties are coming up, I can't necessarily change it, but I can be aware of it. I can be present. And with the acceptance, I can find one more thing to do about it. And find some wonder.
As a strange, plucky traveler,
bending road to who knows where. So in the end, if I have to choose one thing to make my life about, I choose me.
I choose me. It's my life, and I'm gonna go live it.